here in the MCC greenhouse with Dr. Garrett Beyer. He's the chair of the horticulture department and the entrepreneurial agriculture program. We're delighted to be over here and find out what's going on. It's a little bit of a snowy day in March, but we're glad to be able to be here. Thanks for having us, Garrett.
Thank you for inviting me. So today we're going to be talking about a few things in the greenhouse. We're going to hit a little bit about integrated pest management. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the sustainability things we're doing with nutrient management, and then we're going to talk about the importance of local food production. Let's go. So now we're going to move to talking a little bit more about local food production, then also some of the nutrient management that we're doing here on campus and how we're trying to avoid fertilizer waste. So here you can see we have some great growing cherry tomatoes here. So you can see these are being grown hydroponically. One of the challenges that we faced before is with hydroponic growing, you really have to be on top of fertilizer and pH. So you have to be monitoring the nutrition and the pH, because as the pH gets out of whack, the nutrients aren't going to be available to your plants, right? So what that had been previously was someone physically checking these multiple times a day to make sure that they were on target and adjusting it as needed. With those, we were having to kind of change out the solution a bit more frequently, which was ending up where we weren't getting as much out of our fertilizer as we were liking. So one of the big changes we've recently done is we received a grant to purchase new equipment for automation. So now what we're able to do is this machine over here is constantly sensing the pH and EC, which is the electrical conductivity of the water, to see if we're on target for our fertilizer and if we're on target for our pH. So what that freed up now is we are always on, we're always watching, but we don't have to have someone physically doing it. So that's freed up a lot of time for us to put our energy into other things. So we're able to change the solution less frequently because we have more control over it, which has been a really great, thing for us to have. And you can see how productive these plants are. When they're growing, these are way more productive than your typical, garden tomatoes that you're growing. And that's because we can have it really dialed in with both the water and with the pH and fertilizer.
They're so tall.
So another thing that we're doing that's nice with this is we're actually able to give these or sell these to culinary and to the cafe on campus. We've also kind of opened up like a farmer's market type thing where we're selling those in the cooler up front. And it's really important to support your local farmers. So we're trying to give students the experience of growing these plants. And part of that farming ecosystem is getting to sell your produce. So by doing that right on campus here, we're reducing the amount of food miles that this food is traveling. A lot of the vegetables that you get this time of year, anyone know where they're coming from?
That's a good question.
Mexico is usually where we're getting a lot of these vegetables. So they're traveling a long distance to get to us. So if we can support local businesses, one, it's better for the environment because you're not having all those food miles. The other thing is that you're supporting your local community. And that's really important to try to support those small businesses and keep that money local. So continuing to talk a little bit about the local food production and a little bit more about sustainability. One of the big things we produce here on campus for the campus community is different types of lettuce. We have romaine, we have butterhead. One of the things that we do is we sell that. So when you eat at the cafeteria or in culinary, odds are you're probably eating our lettuce, which is pretty exciting to have it be that close. Having students here on campus growing that food for all the other students. One of the big shifts we've done recently is previously we were using plastic bags, and we thought there's got to be a better way. It seems very wasteful. So we actually just switched over to compostable bags. And it's those little types of changes that doesn't really take a lot but can make a big difference. So, switching over and doing things like this can be really a game changer if everyone starts doing it.
Definitely. Thanks for that. That's really, really great. Now, what else are you growing down here?
So over here we have some cucumbers that are just getting started. So once these get going, they are really vigorous growth. So we'll be able to sell those on campus to just people at the community as well as the cafeteria. So now I'm going to show you a few things that some of the classes are working on.
Great. Wow. Look at all these plants in here.
So one of the things that we're trying to teach is the importance of good nutrient management. So you can see here, this is my intro to plant science or intro to horticulture class. Their project is growing tomatoes. They don't know anything about growing tomatoes yet. So part of their project is researching to figure out exactly how to grow them and how to grow them in such a way that you're using an adequate amount of fertilizer, but you're not wasting it. So we've talked about things like slow release fertilizer, which can reduce your amount of leaching, which no one really wants that. So we're trying to talk and really stress the importance of using nutrients in a responsible way, that you're getting what you want, but you're not wasting.
Awesome.
Some other things.
Question for you about the fertilizer. So a lot of us, of course, fertilize our gardens at home. Sometimes too much, sometimes not enough. Any pointers or tips for us?
Yeah. So depending on what it is, like things like a perennial garden, I do not fertilize my perennial garden. If you put down mulch or compost, kind of like as a ground cover or as a mulch, you shouldn't really have to do too much fertilizing on your shrubs or your perennials if you're putting down that mulch. It should get enough from that. Annual beds, if you're doing annual flowers, those tend to take a little bit more. Usually what I'll do is a slow release, like an osmocote, where it'll release over 2 to 3 months. And that way you're not generally over-fertilizing. You just follow the recommended rate and, that's usually what I would do. The other thing is that you always want to incorporate some organic matter in there each year. And that's just to help, one, keep the soil healthy and then reduce your need for that synthetic fertilizer.
Awesome. Thank you.
But there are lots of organic options as well, if you go to any garden center or similar type store.
Great. Okay, great. All right. So what else we got going on in here?
In here, it's a lot of just growing some of the annual stuff for the farm week, I guess is what it's called. So it's not like the traditional plant sale. I guess Emily will probably talk to you about that stuff.
Okay, it's our lucky day because Emily Zach is here in the greenhouse too. Emily is the farm practicum director, and she's going to tell us what's going on down at this end of the greenhouse. Hi, Emily.
Hi. So this is my part of the greenhouse. I have the intro to ag practicum this semester. It's a 1-credit course, 100% lab. Hardly any lecture. We just work in the dirt, get our hands dirty, planting lots of plants. That's all we do. I just got done getting all the lettuce from our hydroponics area. We sell this to the cafeteria and the culinary department here at MCC, and then we also have a cooler in the cafeteria to sell to employees. So that's what these are. But then everything else is all the stuff that we've been planting with my class. It's Monday mornings. We have a small microgreen production, which go into culinary. So every week I harvest a small bag of microgreens to go into the student restaurants.
Nice.
I'm growing some cilantro down there, some pea shoots, which look like this, as they get bigger.
Nice.
This is all the tomatoes for the entire season. We just seeded these this morning. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 different varieties.
Wow.
They're all heirloom. Everything is organic on this side of the greenhouse. Some of the student projects are not organic, just for different kinds of fertilizers, but my section is organic. So organic soil, organic seeds, no synthetic fertilizers or herbicides or anything. So we will sell some of these plants, but then we will also fill our high tunnels outside with the tomatoes. And then this is what we've been planting the last couple weeks. We have perennial herbs, so we have some sage, some thyme, some oregano, some chives. We have lots and lots of basil because everyone loves basil. And then these are all our peppers.
Nice.
Hot peppers, bell peppers, a couple kinds of eggplants. We still have to seed squash coming up. We still have to, these are actually just transplanted this morning. This is our, the cold weather, the brassica family, which is cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli. So we just replanted those, and hopefully they will be planted outside next couple weeks. You don't know, I can't really tell. Right now it's a little wintry, but
Not today, not today.
But I think in a few weeks it's going to be nice out and that stuff can go outside. So yeah, and then we will obviously start here in the winter, and then we go out to the high tunnels and do everything out there too. And the high tunnels are seeded and planted right now.
We're going to hear more about the high tunnels in another one of our videos, so that'll be great. Well, thanks, Emily.
Thanks.
Appreciate your time. Take
Have
care.
a great day. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks so much, Garrett, for your time today. This was so fun to see what's going on over here. And now I want to go have salad. So thank you again for all your help today.
All right, yeah, let's go back to my office and I'll take some questions.
Sounds good. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.